How easy is it for you to throw stuff away? Like when you do a major house cleaning, how big is your throwaway bag? Here's the thing, for most of my life, I was incapable of throwing things away. I would keep them all. And the excuses were pretty much the same as everyone else's, I guess. It holds too many memories. It will fit again once I lose the extra weight. It will come back into fashion. I barely wore it. It still works. I can fix it. It used to be one of my favorites. It will look great on that room I've been planning to renovate for years, etc., etc., etc. As a result, nothing would ever leave my house. Things would only find their way in, but never out. Now, I'm not saying I was like a hoarder, like we see on those sad TV shows. I didn't live in filth, and my house wasn't really a mess, with things piled up on top of each other. But it was a lot. Too much, really. And things started to change for me when I first got my cats, because cleaning an overstuffed house with cats is a bit of a nightmare, let me tell you. Cat hair everywhere. Also, they kept knocking things down. You know how cats are, they love to show us who's the boss. But the real change in me happened when I had to move and pack up all of my belongings. The sheer effort of putting it all into boxes pretty much kicked the hoarder in me to the curb, and it hasn't come back since. I'm pretty ruthless now, so much so I am banned from helping my mom with her spring cleaning because she says I'll just throw it all away. For everyone I know, there's always a room or a closet or a couple of drawers at the very least that are painful to think about. And the more we ignore them and keep throwing things in there, the bigger the problem gets. And the longer it takes us to find the motivation to get it sorted. Sometimes we never do. But it doesn't go away by itself. It keeps hanging over us at the back of our minds, weighing us down. For me, this change is about how good it feels to take control and remove unnecessary things from my life. The shift in my energy, it's like I can breathe and think better, It's how it makes me feel so much better in my own home. That's what did it for me. And that's why I'm telling you that decluttering can truly change your life. Now, I will also say there is no right or wrong about decluttering. You really need to find what works best for you. For me, I have to be cutthroat about it. Let's say I'm cleaning out my closet. I go in there and separate anything I haven't worn in over a year. Then I have to decide why that was. Sometimes I'll just forget about the clothes. Others aren't in the best conditions. Then there's those that just don't fit anymore. And there's also the clothes I no longer like. So whatever the reason, they have to go, because if I start to overthink this, I'll keep it all. Some things I donate, others I just throw away or use the fabric for my quilt. Done. But I also know a lot of people who can't make those decisions right away, and I get it. People say clutter is nothing more than postponed decisions. So I guess being indecisive is a big reason why we keep things we no longer need. Because often we are afraid we'll realize we've made a big mistake and then it will just be too late to do something about it. If this is the case for you, my suggestion is discard the things you no longer like or that aren't in the best conditions. This should be an easy decision, right? For the ones you're indecisive about, box them and create a deadline for yourself. And no, 10 years doesn't count, okay? Make the commitment to wait 3 or even 6 months. If during that period you find yourself missing the items or even thinking of purchasing similar items, then you can go back and get them. If not, if you've just completely forgotten about them, you know what to do. Now, by now, you may be thinking, but what about the things with emotional value, and lots of memories attached? Well, I've got those too, I have a shoebox filled with loving memories, but anything that's bigger than that or that won't fit, I'll just take a picture and discard. And it can be painful, I won't lie, but ultimately, I tell myself that things are just things, they're objects. We are the ones who give it their emotional value, so we are the ones who are making it hard on ourselves. And for emotional value purposes, a picture can have the same effect, and it's just much easier to store and to revisit when necessary. The way I see it, clutter keeps you stuck in the past, whereas decluttering opens up room for a bright future. Now, if none of what I've said so far has convinced you that decluttering is a life changer, I've got a few more things to say. Like the fact that decluttering brings peace. For one thing, people get along a lot better in a household that has enough room for people to move around without bumping into things, or that can't find whatever they need. It also means less accidents around the house, of course. Nothing gets in the way, the space is clear and open. Now, another thing I think we can all agree is that clutter brings stress and anxiety. Like every time we think of it and how we need to sort it out, we feel stressed. Or like when we're about to have people over and we know there's things to tidy up everywhere. Not to mention the fact that a cluttered home can be claustrophobic and cramped. Not a good place to go and relax after a long day's work. Decluttering, on the other hand, makes you feel confident and strong because you have taken matters into your own hands and solved your issue. And that feels awesome, let me tell you. Also, positive habits lead to a happier, more peaceful life, right? And decluttering is as positive as habits come. Now, here's another major one. Decluttering allows you to lose attachment to material things. And that was, for me, one of the most powerful changes I made in my life. The moment I realized just how little things mean, I was free. You realize life is about spending time with loved ones, not the things you own. And once you see things for what they really are, either useful to you or something that actually gets in the way and nothing more, your life will never be the same again. And I guess you know where I'm going with this. Decluttering also saves you a lot of money and a lot of time. For one thing, think of all the money spent on boxes you'll save. By no longer needing to buy stuff to make me feel good about myself and my life, because now I know what has true meaning, I save a lot of money for so much more important things, like paying off loans and being debt-free earlier than expected. Also, time-wise, by making things more accessible and easier to find, you are saving precious time you can spend having fun. Now, your decluttering will also benefit others, and this is an obvious one, I know, but worth mentioning. The things you give away when decluttering that you donate will help people who need it. And this is something that helps me a lot when I'm decluttering, imagining that something I no longer use and it's just occupying space in my house can be incredibly useful to someone who really needs it. For example, I know a lot of people who struggle to give up their baby clothes, the piles and piles of clothes from when their children were babies that no longer fit them. But can you imagine those clothes helping out another baby whose family is struggling to take care of them? Just think about that. Last but certainly not least, decluttering helps you get a new perspective on life as a whole, Once you get used to how simple things are in your home after decluttering and getting rid of anything that doesn't serve you or bring you joy, you kind of tend to do that in other aspects of your life too. You simplify your life, you get rid of the clutter and keep only what's important. Such a huge improvement that started by you getting rid of those clothes you no longer wear. So, what do you say? Do you see the benefits of decluttering now and how it can truly change your life in more ways than one? Now, the way you go about it is your choice, of course. You can sweep your entire house and see what's left once you've judged each and every item in it with your newly found decluttering mojo, or you can pick a room or a cupboard or a drawer and go from there. It is completely up to you, and there are no wrong ways to go about it, as long as the process ends with a bag filled with things ready to leave your home and never come back. That is it for me today, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!